you like about Keion White, and how do you envision him fitting into your rotation?
Yeah, you know what? He's coming out elite athlete. I mean, he's got great length, size, and speed. His short area quickness, his ability to rush the passer on the inside again as another interior pass rusher, adding more depth to that. So, you know, he kind of fits in that role we have with similar to Michael outside, being able to kick inside to be more of a speedy rusher, active body. So we're looking forward to getting him out there.
Is there a backstory why he fell out of Vrabel's rotation?
That's probably more of a question for them.
Well, the difference between Atlanta and Houston was obviously pretty stark. Is that, I mean, obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, I'm sure. Is that partially a function of just having youth, and there might be kind of very, I don't know,
The roller coaster ride?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me.
No, it is. And there's stuff on my part where I look inward, and I could have been a heck of a lot better for them. You know, like I said, we're going to continue to push the envelope with regards to scheme to find the balance of what we're capable of, and so we can always play fast. And does that mean pull back, or is it things that are fixable, or was it things where they were overloaded? That's where I've got to look inward and try to figure out what those answers are, and make sure that they have just enough so teams can't just continually take haymakers at us, but also just not too much where we can't play as fast as possible.
When you said that coming out of that game Sunday, where do you start as you kind of present your plan to the players of what went wrong and what needs to be corrected?
Well, you go back to it's a fundamental league, you know, from a technique standpoint. One is always going to be communication and making sure that we're constantly talking and communicating and being loud. You know, I've always said that your confidence always projects in the volume of your voice, and if you're out there screaming and yelling your technique and your the checks and your assignments, then you're pretty confident about what your job is. But if you're out there quiet, you're probably really you might need to get in the book a little bit more. So, you know, so I'm constantly listening to our defense, and the louder it is, the more comfortable you are as a football coach, and the more you feel like you probably could nudge them and give them a little bit more. And the quieter you are, or the defense is, that's where you've got to ask yourself whether or not you're asking them to do too much. So, again, it starts with communication, and then from there it's your technique and fundamentals and making sure that we're on it with regard to our jobs.
Jackson Dart shown enough through these games where you maybe have to assign a linebacker or a safety on him to spy him?
You know, he is uber talented. I understand why Dayball went to the blue tent. I probably would have went too. I mean, kid's good, man. He's a really, really, really good kid. I think New York hit on this one big time. But he's dynamic. He's decisive. He's accurate. He's been a joy to watch over these. Just studying his tape over the last, he's been 5 starts now. So, and they're doing a really good job with him. You know, they're asking him. There's certain things they're asking of him, but they're doing a good job hiding it within their weekly game plans. And you know, I've always thought Dayball's done a really good job. Him and Kafka, and they put a lot of strain on defenses. And this kid he's going to be special.
What's it going to be like for you going back there?
Get some pizza, go to the visiting locker room, and hopefully have a good day.
Up and down. Plays with great effort and impacts the game in a variety of ways. In coverage, it seems like he's getting picked on a little bit. How would you assess his progress with the first half of the season?
He's been good. You know, he's done some really, really good things, and then there's some things where it's him getting beat is not because he's not capable. It's more him learning, him getting reps, him having an understanding of what teams will do to try to leverage them, how they try to create, you know, the stems to create negative leverage wins and routes. And then again, it's the confidence to get lined up where you just get repetition over repetition, cleaning up his techniques, understanding what he can and can't do. You know, like the holding penalty or the PI or holding, whatever it was, against the tight end. You know, he's up there trying to play hard, heavy press on a pretty big man. You know, it's just understanding what you can and can't do versus different body types. So it's all learning for him. He's got elite work ethic, elite mindset. He's very smart. He's got tremendous athleticism, and he strains. I mean, he packs a punch. I mean, there was I don't know if you guys saw one. He came across the middle of the field. I don't use my language. Hit the heck out of the running back. I mean, he knocks people back. I've got clips where he takes on pulling tackles and guards, and he knocks those guys back. So he's a relentless player. And long answer short, kid's going to be really good. He just needs reps.
Robert, it seemed like in this game against Houston, almost like the rush plan and the coverage plan didn't align. There's just a lot of room there. When you watched it again, what did you think of the coverage there?
Yeah, I could have been a lot better for our guys. Looking back at our third down package, and I'm not going to talk about what I was what wanted to get done as a staff, but not proud of that one. Could have been better for our guys.
You'll get some guys, injured guys back, but how would you assess where the pass rush is right now, and do you envision maybe potentially adding more beyond Keon in that group?
You know, it'll be good to see what Keon's got. You know, Huff will be back next week. Utor's back. Samo's been providing some help. Has been providing some production for us also. Alfred's been surging. Michael's continuing to get better. So again, it's a young group that's continuing to evolve and get better. The adding part, that's more for John and Kyle to answer, but you know, I'll never say no. If you're listening, John. Hopefully, he's trending in the right direction. But you know, so we'll continue, and then from a coaching standpoint, we've got to do a great job just trying to find one-on-ones for those guys. You know, where we can work half a man and we have leverage it. You know, like I've said before, the ultimate goal of a coach obviously is always a free runner. But the next best thing is a one-on-one with proper leverage, and we're going to do our best to put them in those leverages and see where it goes from there.
Halfway through the season, are Michael Williams and Alfred Collins about where you thought they would be at this point?
Yeah, for sure. You know, they're rookies. You know, we in this building we've been spoiled with some rookies like Bosa, where he's probably more the exception, not the rule. The learning curve, especially for a guy like Michael, who we're asking to go outside, inside, or Alfred, who missed all of OTAs and training camp, they're trending exactly the way we've hoped. And I haven't wavered with my thought that these guys are going to be really good football players and they're going to be here for a while. Same with CJ West.
Robert, are you dissatisfied at all with Nick Martin? I mean, he's your guys' third-round pick. He's a rookie, but he's not getting on the field over guys like Gifford and Robinson. Is there some dissatisfaction with him, or is there something he's not doing?
No, there's no dissatisfaction. You know, he's there is a bit of a learning curve in terms of where he's come from college to what we're asking him to do, and I think he's done a really nice job. He's got to earn it on special teams, with D. Winters being the starter. Like, Giff is a big-time special teams guy. Curtis Robinson's a big-time special teams guy. Now you've got Tatum and you've got D, who are both starters. You know, so for him, he has had to make his way. And then obviously Fred was there before Fred's injury. It's hard to justify if you're not the starter and you're not owning special teams. Those guys are always going to get first dibs. And Giff, not to speak for us, for Brant, but he's been one of our top special teams guys. You know, so you got to find a role and you got to make it work with who the active guys are. Now that he's got a chance to be active, he had his first run on special teams. Thought he did a really nice job, and he's going to get another run at it. But unless D gets hurt, God forbid that happens, because D's having a hell of a season, he's going to have to make his way on special teams this year. And if something happens to him, then he'll step in, and we'll see how it goes.
So patient with the other rookies, letting them take their lumps and play. And so the opposite of that with Nick Martin, is that just a function of you being a former linebacker coach and having high standards with that position? Is it a different nature of that position?
No, that's fair. I think it's more a testament to D. Winters. He's having a hell of a year. There's a couple things where I'm sure he'd want things back, but he does so many things that don't show on the stat sheet. With regards to his play demeanor, his communication, he's been vital for Tatum over these first couple of weeks. Just the communication with him. So D is an NFL starting linebacker, and so Nick is more of a victim of that than he is of what he's capable of.
Last one. For the batch of rookies that were forced into some early playing time. How did you kind of help them along, maybe encourage them throughout this process as they're all kind of figuring out a lot of making mistakes and trying to learn from them?
You just got to do your best to teach. You know, you can get frustrated with some mistakes because you want them to be great or perfect all the time, but it never goes that way. But they have gotten better. You know, the cool thing about this group is it is very important to them. They are studying their butts off. They are seeking guidance from the other guys in the locker room, and like I said, they're getting a heck of a lot better than, I mean, you look at a guy like Alfred from where he was to where he is now. Upton's gotten better. They're all taking strides, and you know, I don't think they need so much encouragement. They just, I've always felt like the number one coach needs to make these young men feel like they can walk on water, and it's our job to make sure we always put them in position and show ultimate faith, especially in a world of negativity. When these young men walk in this building, they've got to believe that we have faith in them, and we do, because we picked them, and we believe in all of them. So you just got to be patient. You got to work with them, and if they're made of the right stuff and they're going about it the right way every single day, then you trust that they'll figure it out.
Does it feel that they have each other? Like, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, no, it does. I think it for sure, because when there's, I guess so, but I think it helps more that you got veterans in this building, on the D line like Kalia Davis and Jordan, and you shoot even Samo. So you've got great veterans there. You got veterans in the linebacker room. You've got veterans in the DB room to help guide along all these kids.
Is this the same with your parenting style, Robert, or do you like to scream at your kids?
So I'm more quiet, but my wife, whew, God bless her.
All right.
So who's playing quarterback in New Jersey on Sunday?
Brock's getting better. I know that. You know, it's good. He's doing more this week. He's taking a few more reps, and we got to let the week play out and see how it goes. So.
I'm sure he's frustrated to some extent, but how does he kind of managing that? I'm sure he wants to be back out there. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's very frustrating for him. Him and I were talking yesterday. It's an injury that's frustrating because it has its unpredictable nature to it, about when things are going to flare up and kind of how it's going to react to things. But he's been doing everything he can do. He's been patient, but it is frustrating for him. I know he wants to be out there. I know he's our quarterback, and he's our leader, and he wants to be out on the field with the guys. But he's doing what he needs to do. He's being patient, and he's getting better, and we're getting him back into practice. So.
How is he at putting that frustration kind of aside and being helpful for Mac?
Oh, he's great. It doesn't affect that at all. It's just like you would imagine. It's just personally, it's a frustrating situation. But Brock's, he's a pro, and he's a leader, and he's helping our guys however he can.
How do you go about, obviously he can't do all of the physical stuff, but how do you go about just making sure that when he does step on the field, he's improved since the last time, just from everything from the non-physical standpoint?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. It's just to have complete confidence that you're going out there and feeling your best. And if you do feel something, that it's something that you have to kind of deal with. I think that's the goal with Brock is just getting him comfortable with that. And then if he's out there, we don't feel like he's going to have any restrictions physically. We feel like if he's playing, he can do what we need him to do. So.
That's what I'm saying. It's like from the shoulders up. How do you get him sharp, keep him sharp mentally, and going through, knowing the offense and everything?
Yeah, I think he's going to stay in it. He's been staying in it the whole time. He hasn't missed anything from a mental perspective. I think you just need reps again. You need that repetition of getting in the huddle, hearing a call, kind of going through everything you do before the snap, going through progressions. Like you got to go back out there and practice, which he's been doing. He did that a little more yesterday. And so, as far as the mental stuff, I think it just comes with getting the reps again and just getting in that comfort level that you miss when you're just not in there. So.
Jordan Watkins on the field for the first time, and he drops the first one that comes to him, then he makes a little catch later. When you miss as much time as he has, I don't know, you have to remind him, like, hey, you still almost have a whole college season left. There's plenty of time left. Do you still feel pretty good about his development?
Yeah, I feel good about it. He got some action on Sunday. I think he would probably tell you he's got to make that play. That was a big third down, but it's a long way to go, and it's a struggle for all rookies of just kind of being in it for the long haul. And he's up for it. He's been practicing really well. We've been happy with his work, and so I'm not worried about his mindset from that perspective.
What are
you've seen from Juwan Jennings? Yesterday, Kyle mentioned he's been compromised a little bit so far.
He's been battling injuries all year. I mean, from training camp, and Juwan's been pushing through it, and he's been doing it for the team, and he's been going out there and working through stuff. He is getting better every week, and you can see him starting to heal up, and with the ankle, the ribs. I think he's hopefully getting past that. So, it's taken time for him to get to be feeling good, which is kind of weird. You're playing football and trying to get healthy at the same time, which doesn't always go hand in hand. But he is getting better. He's healing, and I think every week we kind of see him get back to the form we want him to be in.
The scouting evaluation process, what did you think of Dart?
Oh, loved him. Yeah, he was a heck of a player and just a gamer. And you saw a guy who competed and who won a lot of games, and he just a playmaker at the position. And aside from the natural talent, you just loved how he competed and made plays. So not surprised at all that he's doing well. He's a heck of a player.
Obviously this game against Houston is not what you want, and you seem pretty calm with us here, but what is your personality like on game day? I mean, and have you had a half in your career that went like that? You seem pretty calm, but I mean, are you and Kyle swearing at each other on the headsets?
Yeah.
I mean, what is that vibe like in the first half?
It's tough, man. It's frustrating for everybody, not just me, not just Kyle, but the players. I mean, you're battling through a tough game where you can't stay on the field with third downs, and their offense goes on a long drive and you're on the sideline for a long time, and you're just not doing the things you want to do. You try to stay calm, and I think that's, for me personally, that's how I work through things, is to stay calm and try to figure out solutions, and okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through this? That's my mindset with everything. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said you're not dying on the inside a little bit when you're going through that, but you got to work through it, and you got to battle, and you got to find ways to help your players. And it was cool to see our guys do that at the end of the first half. They made those plays to kind of get us back in the game and to get a spark, but we just didn't sustain it. So, yeah.
You saw a good defensive front last week. What do you make of the one that you're seeing this week?
Another really, really good front. I mean, they have first-round picks at every position on the defensive line, elite rushers, an elite player on the inside, and Dexter Lawrence, and just super, super talented, and just another huge challenge. So, yeah.
When you come out of that game against the Texans, what do you stress? What do you emphasize to the players when you get them back together, start getting ready for the Giants?
It wasn't just one thing. You could point in any direction, but when you look at it, to me, it came down. We didn't stay on the field. We weren't able to help our defense by converting a third down in that first half, and which would have allowed us to run the ball more. We didn't run the ball enough, but we weren't on the field enough. So it started with the first half, and then the third quarter we come out and we go 3 and out. I think we had 2nd and 3, and we had a 0-yard run, and then we get sacked. And so it was like we didn't do enough to stay on the field in different areas. Should we have run the ball better? Yeah, but we needed to be better on third down. And that's what it came down to, And so at the end of the day, you gotta convert third downs. You gotta give yourself chances to make more plays, and we just didn't do it.
Was the protection plan sound? I mean, you had Hennessy pulling to block a star defensive end. Did you chip much on Anderson against McKivitz? When you watch that film again, did you feel like you could have done more to help Colton maybe a little bit?
I think in hindsight, you always wish you could have done more. I mean, we did chip some. You mentioned Hennessy pulling. I mean, that's a protection we use a lot. We didn't execute it very well, to be honest with you, with some of our technique. But, you mix it up, you mix in the chips. You can't do it all the time because, when George Kittle's chipping, he's not on a route. And so you try to mix those things up, and it wasn't good enough in all areas. So, yeah, the plan wasn't good enough. The execution wasn't good enough, and we got to be better moving forward. So.
Kyle has mentioned Ricky's recovery is taking longer than he would have hoped.
Mm-hmm.
How is Ricky dealing with the day-to-day? Is he sure that's somewhat frustrating?
Yeah, I talked to Ricky yesterday. He's doing good. His mind's in the right place, but he's frustrated. I think kind of like Brock, he expected things to go quicker, but you don't really know. But Ricky's locked into his rehab. He's doing everything he can do to push himself to get ready to go. But like you'd imagine, it's hard for those guys, but he's handling it the right way, and he'll be ready when he's fully healed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
When you look at the Giants defense, what kind of stands out to you about what they do?
Yeah, they're really good. I think the front's obviously a really good front. They got a lot of guys up there and play a lot of different coverages, so definitely going to be a challenge. And yeah, we got to be ready to go.
a sense of urgency in practice this week? Kyle Shanahan talked about how, he wanted everybody to come in with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think that's important. I think everybody has their own chip on their shoulder for different reasons, but as a team for sure. And we got to be ready to practice today. Obviously, we're doing media before practice, so we still have one practice today and one practice tomorrow, and then Saturday. So take it one day at a time. But yesterday was good, and just got to do that again today.
Does it feel like you guys have a 5-3 record, or does it feel like a losing record? I mean, you kind of try to gauge.
Nice. No, I know what you're saying.
But I do want to know. Like,
Yeah.
When it comes to the 5-3, like you guys are winning this season pretty well, but then it kind of seems as if.
Yeah, for sure. I know what you're saying. I learned that maybe the hard way. Just early on in my career, I would be frustrated if we didn't win by like a lot of points or whatever. And I realized that winning in the NFL is so hard, and it's not like college when you're going to win by like 40, 50 points or whatever. And every game typically comes down to the last quarter or a couple drives. So we've been in that position like I talked about earlier. And that's my goal as a quarterback, is be ready in those moments, because quarters 1 through 3 are obviously important, but really the fourth quarter is where it's all won. So that's the NFL. I've learned that. I've watched it, studied it. So I'm really just glad where we're at, but also you can't be complacent at all. This is a big week for us. It's one of those, you look at your record, you win and you're in a good spot, and you lose and you're not in as a good of a spot. So we know that you're trying to win every week. So definitely feel like we can do it, and I guess got to go out there and execute.
You overlapped with Coach Dable at Alabama.
Yeah.
Your first year. What was he like as a coach?
Oh, he was awesome.
What did you learn from him just in that first year there?
Yeah, he was the best. I think we spent a lot of time together. I was third string and freshman, and he was installing a new offense, so I didn't really know much. So he was trying to see if I could learn the offense that he wanted to install, and he did just such a good job of like innovating for the player that was in. So like when Jalen played, he had quarterback runs and things like that, and then when Tua played, he had a lot of RPOs and over the middle passing. So I learned as a young player like how good he was at like building his plan for the offense at the time, and learned a lot about coverages and footwork and all that stuff. So we obviously still talking stuff, and he's a great coach, and got a lot of respect for him.
You overlap with Keon in New England, I believe.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about him? What kind of player he is? What kind of guy he is?
Yeah, he's quiet, but he's the man. Like when you talk to him and get to know him, just a really down to earth guy. And I remember when he was coming out from Georgia Tech, I'm friends with Coach Key, the head coach there, and he was like, "You guys got a great player," and he's really quiet, so like just try and get him used to the guys and stuff. And he did that, and I think he's just a great player that maybe the scheme didn't fit him or whatever that may be. And I know he's excited for a fresh start, and I think he's going to be really good in the system. He's a strong guy, and I'm just looking forward to watching him grow. I'm sure right now he's just trying to learn everybody's names and learn where to walk and stuff. So definitely figuring it out, but he's a great dude.
Slow start. Jordan Watkins on the field for the first time, and he drops the first one. And then would you go to him right away and talk him up?
Yeah, I think people always look at that. It's like first game, whatever. Like it doesn't really matter to me. He's done a good job in practice. As a rookie, I remember my first game too. Like you're gonna have your jitters, and you might not be exactly where you want to be. And he's trying to play catch up a little bit, but he has all the skills, and he's lining up right now in practice and doing the right stuff. So that's all I care about. And I told him like it's your first one, right? So don't worry about your first game in general, whether it was really good or really bad. Like just keep working, and you'll get more comfortable. And I really like his speed and what he did in college, and some of those things are showing up in practice. So I'm definitely really excited about him.
The team had a slow start in Houston, not to make excuses, but it was a 10 a.m. body start game. Got another one coming up this week. What do those feel like from the perspective of a West Coast team, and how do you start faster?
Yeah, it's obviously my first experience this year doing that, and just talking to people, and we have different things that we use, and I feel like really you just got to get the right amount of sleep for your time slot, and get up and get ready to play. It's not like you can't overthink it or underthink it, but at the end of the day, you get your 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep, and then obviously you travel early, and I try not to get adjusted to the time. I just stay on my own clock here. But yeah, it's a challenge, and I think every team has to deal with it, whether you're going east to west or west to east. So definitely want to be ready to play.
You get 11 hours of sleep before
Sometimes, yeah. Usually I sleep a lot, which is hard when you're traveling, but if I can, I definitely put my head on that pillow and try and get 9 or 10 or 11.
One of the storylines back this week was the turf that's at MetLife, because this team, when they were back there about 5 years ago, there were a lot of injuries. You
Okay.
played on it. Do you have concerns about it, and just memories of Giant State of playing at MetLife?
Yeah, I've played against both teams there, but I don't know. I don't really think about it. I think it's turf, and the field's 100 yards long and 53 and a third wide, so I don't really think about it like that, but definitely every playing surface is different, and I learned early in my career you want to get out there early and test your cleats and figure out, do you want to wear this pair or that pair based on the surface. So that's all you can do, and I mean, I played on it multiple times and didn't have any issues, so I think it's a cool stadium, and they got a good fan base.
You were listed on the injury report yesterday with double knee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Bilateral. Sick.
Juwan might have you beat. I mean, he's listed for most of the year with 3 different injuries.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Obviously, as you've gotten to know Juwan,
Yeah.
you know, his ability to play through, you know, some significant stuff.
Yeah.
I see a lot of guys are doing similar stuff like that.
For sure.
You know, what does he show you?
Oh, he's really tough. I really like Juwan. I think obviously we're working through some things right now in terms of just trying to get him started in the games, and but he comes out and works every day, and he doesn't complain. Like we were talking about some of the plays in the game that, you know, maybe I missed him or he didn't catch it or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Like we're on the same page. He's running fast. I'm trying to get him the ball, and we're working together during practice. So he's done a great job rehabbing his injuries, and I think he's definitely getting better, like all of us are each week. And I just really love the way he works, and I think a lot of people look up to him in a way, like he's played a lot of football, and for him to be out there, you know, even when he doesn't have to be out there, maybe it shows a lot about his character. So I'm looking forward to just getting that chemistry going, and you know, we haven't had a lot of reps together, to be honest, either. So just working on that, and I'm really excited for him. I know what he can do, and I've seen him make really good plays in this offense. Cool. Thank you.
Is it new season, new scenery, new season, or is it just a continuation of now that you're here with the Niners?
Oh, definitely not a continuation. Just a new me and kind of showing what I can do for real. And just trying to become a part of the team and learn the system as quick as possible and really get out there and help the team win.
I saw you yesterday ahead of practice, kind of chatting with everybody, shaking hands, getting with all the coaches. How's it been? How's the reception been since getting here?
That's cool. So everybody's been real cool. Everybody's been real receptive and everything like that. I literally got right off the plane and came straight to practice. So it's all work, it's straight business, for real.
What's that like? You're off the plane, you walk in, new facility, you're looking around, it's like, I am the new guy.
Yeah, listen, it's just same way as like I compare like football to corporate America. Like you just got a new job and I'm going to another office for real and learning the system for real.
They said they were impressed with you in the game last year. Can you remember what it was you did in that game that made an impression on them?
Probably rushing from the inside, for real. That's kind of what I feel like I do best, and so I did that last year, and I guess that's what they were impressed for. I really don't know, though. You got to ask them that.
Yeah, were you kind of expecting a trade, and did you want one?
Yeah, like I kind of just roll with the punches. Like, you just one thing that being under Bill for a year taught you is you just take every day for what it is, and you never really expect anything from tomorrow. And so I just go one day at a time and go where I'm supposed to be at. Was it frustrating them not being able to not playing as much as you used to this year? I mean, you always, as a competitor, you always want to play as much as possible. If it was up to me, I'd be on the field all 80 snaps. So it's always going to be frustrating not being out there, but you also got to understand like everything fits inside the scheme. And so I was just trying to play my role.
Are you looking at this as a pretty good opportunity, given the attrition that they've had with injuries and all that a lot's going to be expected of you right out of this year?
I'm not really too focused on what's expected from me and just trying to do my job and just earn a role. I don't expectations really get you nowhere. You got to earn everything, bro.
There are players in the past, Charles Omenihu, Arden Key, who kind of profile similar to you, playing outside, can kick inside. Are you familiar with those guys? Have you seen, do you know what Chris Kaczmarek has, like his track record is like with those kind of players?
Yeah, you always know and hear about, and I've watched Arden and Charles Omenihu and all of them. And I don't really try to compare any of my things to anybody else. I just try to be me and the best version of myself.
Do a couple more. Keon, you mentioned what you do best inside, but you were outside almost all this year. Was that frustrating? And obviously, you do what you got to do, right? But
yeah, like I said, no knock to the guys over there. They had a system and everything like that where I was outside. I could have been better on the outside rushing and everything like that, and just roll with what I could have done better.
We saw you literally beat Chris Kubiak yesterday when you came out to practice. Mm-hmm. Does he have what's his reputation like? What have you heard about him and how you fit into his rotation?
Yeah, just his reputation and preseason stuff for real. So like he's one of the best D lineman coaches in the game, and so just excited to get to work with him and being able to grow my game and see where he could take me.
Is it unrealistic?
Last one here, Jay.
You could come out, get off a plane, and just play right away and be effective.
Nobody really knows. We just kind of have to take it one day at a time. Today's my first real practice where I can study the playbook a little bit, so we just kind of see how it goes from there.
All right, thanks, Keon. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Howdy.
So the atmosphere of playing in New York, what is that, the allure of that going there rather than playing in a dome in Houston, maybe liven you up more?
Well, I've actually never played at MetLife, so I missed the games in 2020, so I'm excited. I think it's the last stadium I haven't actually played in, so I'm super excited for it. My wife's, she got there yesterday, so she's excited to be in New York. Besides that, I don't know, just excited to go play football with the boys, and that's all I really care about.
Has the playing surface...
What are you doing way back there?
Well, I mean, it's hard.
That's crazy.
Fouling around you. Has the surface been mentioned at all?
This week by us?
Yeah,
no,
by you guys.
Just you.
Okay. Well, will you? Would you advise going out early and just kind of getting adjusted to that surface before the game?
I've never played on it, so I don't know. I see what people. Sorry, Christian. These guys are in your locker. No, he'll wait for you guys. Look, no, Christian's right behind you. Yeah, I know it's tough.
They're pretty close.
I would say, I've never played on it. I see what guys say about it. Excuse me. I see what people say about it online. Like, people don't like playing on it. It's a turf. So I'll just go experience it for myself, and hopefully the whole team makes it off the field in extreme health and happiness.
Do you look at it as a get-right game?
Not necessarily. I look at it just I just look at it as a game that we need to win because, we're at a good position. The team won a lot of games early. We have a decent record. We're in a position, where we can continue to win, put ourselves in a good position to succeed. So for us, it's not a get-back game or a must-win game. It's just I look at every football game like you need to win it. Like, you don't want to lose. Like, yeah, later in the season, if you built up a bunch of wins, you can afford to lose one, but we need to win all of our football games.
You pick up Keion White, played all over the defensive line for New England last year. What was it like preparing for him in Week 4?
That's an aggressive question, David. I don't remember Week 4 of last year very much. I'd fractured ribs then. For me personally, when I look at defensive line, I'm looking at, okay, who are the two edge starters, and then what safety is going to be covering me in third down, and then whatever the coaches show me. So as a tight end, I'm not looking at their 5 or 6 deep defensive ends going through each one individually, except for their top 2 usually, unless there's something I really need to look at. So I don't remember that. I know someone pulled up a clip of Kyle talking about him last year, so maybe Kyle's just speaking things into existence.
Were there any type of conversations amongst the team after the game last week? It was kind of a tough one for all 3 phases of the game, and then going into this one needing to kind of, not a get-right game like you just said, but needing to bounce back and stay in good position this season.
I think just having the mindset that our backs are against the wall and we have to play desperate every single game is just a good mindset to have as a football team, because whenever you get comfortable, it's a terrible outcome usually. And so just having the mindset hey, look, yeah, did we lose that game? Is this game a must-win? I don't know what games are must-wins and what aren't must-wins, but like I said, I want to win and I need to win every single game. So just having the mindset of playing with your backs against the wall and playing as desperate as you can is the best thing for this football team.
Tatum Bethune said it didn't look like it or didn't feel like it was slow when you guys were on the field, but then when you watched the film, it felt a little bit slower. Did you see the same thing?
It was one of the slowest games I've ever been a part of because we had 12 snaps in the first half, which is just bad offense. So we did a lot of sitting and a lot of just trying to stay loose and try to keep our minds in the game. Definitely played a little bit more in the second half, but that was probably one of my least favorite games I've been a part of as an offense. So what? Yeah, I got punched in the face. I changed my face mask now, though, so hopefully that won't happen again. I got punched in the face twice in 3 games, and I think that's just not okay, so change the face mask up.
What's the toughest part of a 10 a.m. body clock game? What does it actually feel like in the first quarter?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I really noticed it. We've done it before. I think the thing is just when you go to bed, you're just I don't go to sleep until 9 a.m. But besides that, I've never really noticed it. I think a lot of guys look forward to it because, like, hey, I'm going to get actually home at 8 o'clock tonight, and that's not a terrible thing. That's why I would see it. And then, if you think it's going to affect you, jump in a cold shower and wake up because it's your job. Yeah, I'll talk to you this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Kyle talked about, he said the first half performance was unacceptable and the second half wasn't much better. He doesn't usually talk like that about this team. I'm sure, I don't know how much you could detail, but what are some of the things he found that just were not up to this team's standard?
I would say 12 plays in the first half besides our 2-minute drive. And like I said, I mean, after watching the game, like what I said in the podium was I thought our defense did a pretty solid job. I think Kyle Shanahan and Coach Saleh might be like, oh, well, we messed this up. No, they held an offense to 4 field goals and 2 touchdowns, and I mean, that's a bend but don't break, and our offense needs to go out there and score points. So, like, to me, it's just like we have to go be effective on offense. And, we have a young defense that's minus a bunch of its stars and best players, so our offense needs to play at a higher level. Thank you, guys.
You have to be good on the edges, and then obviously with Brian Burns at 10 sacks, it's a pretty eye-opening thing, leading the league. So, and obviously Abdul taken pretty high in the draft. So they've obviously got guys with talent and on turf. So we're gonna have to come ready to play.
Boy, man, that sounds like 60 some odd times a game. Every time the ball is snapped, it's like a bout.
It is. That's what it is. It's a fight, and that's what we're expecting.
It'll be the second week in a row that you've faced a pretty highly regarded defensive line. So just as a unit, what does that challenge present for you guys as an offensive line?
It's always a challenge for an offensive line. I mean, the goal is to protect your guys. So going against obviously last week with Houston, same thing this week going against guys who are, leaders in the league. There's not a bad defensive line out there, but when you get guys who are elite pass rushers, you want to run the ball, control it, stay out of long third down. So, that'd be the goal this week.
With again, kind of patchwork. Do you feel like you're getting some continuity now with the guys that have, you got Hennessy in there, and you got guys that didn't plan on being there at the start of the year?
Yeah, you don't plan on it, but, it's next man up. We've had a lot of injuries everywhere else, so, now it's our turn with the offensive line. Guys step up, come in and play. We're getting some guys back, hopefully, and that helps, but obviously Matt's had some game reps and played well, so when they get their chance, they get to show what they can do, and as a group, we're pretty tight regardless, so you expect good communication and play.
They have 4 legit pass rushers, which is rare. Is that rare? I mean, to see that guy can do it, that guy can do it. Do you think of other teams like that?
No, I mean, there's a couple teams in the league who have, that's what the key is. It's the trenches. You have good offensive line and good D-line. So when franchises build around pass rushers and, that's where the game's won and lost. So when you can fill a team with, elite talent on the edges and inside, it presents a challenge every week for offensive line. So it's another week for us to be challenged and see if we rise up to it.
With the injuries, it's rare for the guy to have listed with 3 injuries in the injury report. Juwan has been like that most of the year. Obviously, all guys at this point, I'm sure, are dealing with something.
Yeah.
But what about him and as far as his ability to still keep playing?
Yeah, I mean, it's the NFL. It's 100% injury rate. So obviously guys are going to have stuff, but with him, it just shows the toughness that he plays. You see the play, how hard he plays, what he goes through, the blocking. Obviously him on third down, that's where his money's made. But it just shows the character he has when he's out there fighting through what he is. It's just the character of Juwan.
How about just the dynamic of 18 weeks? You know you're going to have highs and lows. You guys are coming off one of your lows of the season. How do you just put that behind and go forward and know that, that's got to be a blip when the big picture comes along?
And it's just like Tampa, we lost that game, came back pretty, everyone's angry. You come off a loss, you come out to practice, everyone's angry, they want to get better. And obviously this is the same thing. We didn't go out and perform well last week. So, this is a challenge week for us to come out and play well, but also leading, after that, it's can you do that every week? Can you replicate that? And, that's a goal in a season as long as it is. It's only the halfway point. We still got a month and a week till the bye week. So, strap up and go after it.